beautiful crystalry. You have a lot of style. I've always noticed that now when you were in the horse, there was always a beauty to the place. Now, Kilmacanogue knows, the whole town I think knows at this stage, but out beyond the border, it's just starting to get out there that Team McNamara have taken a leap over the little sugarloaf from the Horse and Hound to Plucks. This is something that you tend to sort of, you did such a great job with the Horse and Hound. This seems to be something now that you kind of like the challenge of it, and breathing life into old, much loved institutions. It must be something in your genes now that you want to start again.
Yeah, well, when we first thought about it, we kind of weighed it up, and then we came and had a look at it, and then we see here that there's huge potential in Kilmacanogue. We're only here 1 week, and the people have given us such an amazing welcome that we're very excited to be here. As I say, the potential is huge. We're the gateway to Glendalough. I know we crossed the motorway to come over here, but I see that even with the Christmas decorations, the attention to detail, I just want to raise the bar here a little bit and make it a beautiful place.
Well, it is a joyful thing that with the Horse and Hound, there you were, I think it was like 10 years, there was a real, kind of breathing new life into the place. There was a real sense of community. People, came there because it was their regular place to go. I'm guessing it didn't take long after when the summer kicked in last year that, I don't know if you got itchy feet, whether you were glad to be kind of not doing the daily kind of work for a while, or when the itch came back in, they said, I want to do this again.
We lived over the Horse and Hound, so it was very much 24/7.
Right.
When we closed the door, while it was a massive, great, exciting chapter in our lives, we were kind of going, yes, that's it now, and we headed off to Portugal for 8 weeks or 7 weeks. And nice. We said, right. But having said that, you have to hit reality as well. I do a little bit of marketing as well, so that got me through. Shane did get the old itchy feet, and he kind of wanted to get back in, and even he went back to modern dance, didn't he? That's his first love. He likes to do modern dance. Very agile on his feet. But he loves doing the kegs himself, doing all the paperwork, doing everything. So this opportunity came up, and it just seemed right. And when we lived over the Horse and Hound, it was very much like the next time if we ever did it, we'd live away, we'd do whatever, and we'd make it a business and come back and forwards. But we get very involved, and here we are again, moving in upstairs. So, but it's much easier when you're working in a place to live upstairs, even though you're 24/7 on call. But we'll do it probably a little bit differently with all the experience from the Horse and Hound.
Well, I think people sort of know when there's a family element to a pub, that there's a sense that you not only just come in 9 to 5 or whatever, 9 to like 11 or 12 at night, that you actually sort of deeply care, because this is where you live as well as work. And that idea, there's the Horse and Hound, 1790 that began. We're talking 1822 for Plucks, starting off with the great John Pluck when it was called the Kilmacanogue Hotel. Then it became the Sugarloaf Hotel. Then it became, I better check my names here, the Ale House. Then it became Sweeney's Roadhouse. Then it became the Glen Cormac Inn, which people still call it Sweeney's Pub, and eventually Pluck. So, like the Horse and Hound, huge history. So you sort of feel like you're taking on the mantle of carrying on a torch, really.
Yeah, I completely agree. And this is the only pub in Kilmacanogue, and it's everyone's kind of, they love to come here to, it's their home. Like, they have their committee meetings. Even in the last week, first responders were on to me. Different committees can have their meetings here, and it's very much a community place where everyone comes, and we very much like that.
Well, it's like a town hall as well as being a place that you socialise and you meet up with your friends. There's a sense that these kind of institutions are so important for a community to have a focal point to come together and figure out things together, and also have fun together.
Yeah, even like the post office across the road now, that's closed.
So
it'd be great to get that. The plans here are, without going into any detail, are to kind of make this a village community, and maybe put in for planning down the road for some units here beside us.
Brilliant.
So that's very good. In relation to family, yes, I very much like Team McNamara and my two children, who, my background before the Horse and Hound was property, and my husband was mortgage brokering. So we kind of reared our children from the age of 10, 11, 12 in the Horse and Hound, which was completely out of our depth. But they matured, and they got great character building out of that. And Andrew still manages the Horse and Hound, believe it or not. But we have plucked him, and from next week he's coming over here to work full time.
Because it's in their DNA, of course. When you grow up around, like if your parents are musicians or whatever, you just become musical, and like that. When you grow up in that sort of environment, you just know it instinctively. You don't have to ask too many questions after a while, because you just know from experience.
I think where they would have gained a lot from it is dealing with people.
Yeah.
You know, they're not afraid to deal with people. They've seen situations where they've barred people, thrown people out.
Right.
You have to be able to adapt to all different types of people.
Yeah, you have to be able to call a situation and know the right thing.
I've always worked on the basis, no matter whether you live in the castle or you live in the caravan, if you respect me and my family, I respect you. And if you don't, I don't respect you. And
that's the way. Now, we should mention the fact that this is a very sport kind of, you know, you've got the GAA just up the road here, and soccer's a big part of it. So again, it's just that sense of that community that extends into everybody's life, and it's an everyday thing. It's not just going for a drink or going for something to eat. This is now kind of like, you know, a town that connects in all different levels, and to have a focal point, as I said, for that is a huge kind of attraction for them.
Completely agree, and if you embrace it, you really have the centre of the community here.
Yeah.
Like, we're only here 1 week. We had a funeral last week, actually, but that's another thing that's very big over here. But the Glencormac, the soccer is huge. GAA is huge. We had a big event here on Saturday night with the big annual draw. So we had the Bray people here, and they mentioned us last week in the Bray people, I think.
Oh,
and
nice.
The photographs were taken this week, and we're only 7 days here. But you know, everything in the community, if we can get involved and help them, and be part of it, we're delighted. And we're very much now looking forward to moving in upstairs.
Well, I think one thing you recognise too in your years in the Horse and Hound is how important food is too, because food, as much as people regard a bar or a pub or a place to go for a drink, the food element too is huge now, where people like to meet up and have their dinner or have whatever it might be, and their lunch. And that's a big part now, I think, of pub culture generally, but certainly...
Agreed, completely. In the Horse and Hound, when we were there, there was never any food. Packet of taste, and I was as good as it got. But I brought in the ham and cheese toasty, which was all day, every day. And that's all we did with the food in the Horse and Hound. Here, however, is very different. And while we're well able to look after drinks and all that, food is completely out of my zone, but I'm learning fast. And Sunday is our biggest day here. 65%, I'd say, of all our business here is food.
Right.
Turkeys and hams go out Monday, Sunday, every day. And Sunday, I'd say we'd maybe do 300 or 400 covers.
Nice.
And then during the week, it was really, really busy as well. Monday, Tuesday, we're doing 80 and 90 covers, which is a lot for during the week, you know. So I'm learning fast about food. We've 2 chefs and a third one twice a week. So we need to get our act together moving into the new year. We're leaving everything as it is at the moment.
Right.
But our menus will change. We'll make them smaller, but still keep on the corned beef and cabbage.
Right.
Is huge here. Cleared out of it yesterday. Turkey and ham cleared out of it yesterday.
Nice.
And then we have the fresh fish, which we would get in every day.
It does seem like, you know, and you're saying it's only a week, it just seems like, you're very relaxed, because I would think most people, assuming they start anywhere new, even a new home, like a new flat, there's a sort of wired feeling for at least a month of just trying to figure out where everything goes and all that. And I'm sure there is a lot of that paddling under the water going on with your feet, but you seem very kind of already, this maybe is kind of a home. But it does seem like a nice fit.
Well, when I came in first, because we'd been out of the hospitality business for a year, I kind of came in with my Christmas tree under my arm, my lights, and I was very busy there.
Right.
Shane was meeting, greeting, and then, slowly I got into it. But no, I'm very relaxed, but it also helps when you come to somewhere that you're made feel so welcome, and everyone is going out of their way to help us do anything, and it's great. Well,
I do know from experience with the guy, just Kilmacanogue is so connected with each other, and they get together for, and like with the post office and the bus routes and all that, they automatically kind of pull together and figure out what's the best thing to do, and that sort of sense of community, especially I think it's crucial in smaller gatherings, that you just have that connection with each other, because the bigger you get, the more kind of disconnected people can be. But I always get the impression with Kilmacanogue, they are very, very kind of connected.
Very much so.
And having you in the centre would be great.
And I'm not going to stand up and get them for you now because but we had these suggestion cards. When it's a little card that opens, and on the outside it says Plucks and then the McNamara family happy to be here.
Nice.
And it gives a little bit about us on the inside, where we were last, and then there's a suggestion card like, what would you like us to do for your community? Be it sports related, be it a quiz on a Wednesday night, be it a session on a Sunday. You give us your thoughts, and then we have on the bottom just what's your favourite food on the menu, because we're going to change the menu. And then on the back they give their name and address, and we're putting all the names into a big Christmas draw for a massive festive hamper.
Boom! I'll fill one of those out before I leave then.
So that's getting a lot of interest, and people who mightn't say something to your face can write it down, and we'll take everything on board.
Nice.
The bar, we're looking for Boyle Sports. You know the
Oh yeah.
you know the television things, and
Sure.
Shane had that in within the following day. So we're getting deep cleans on different
great.
things, and yeah, it's good.
Well, as I said, it seems like a natural fit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to you in a year, and we'll sit down in the same place and we'll have another chat. Just because I could imagine, given the way the Horse and Hound just became such a loved place again, that I can imagine you do wonders here. It seems like the right fit in both the people that are around you, and then obviously the family just seem so well kind of tuned to what's needed. Yeah,
I think so. Hayley now is here with us all Christmas, and she's working around the clock. She's globe trotting in January. Andrew's here. I presume he'll travel as well, but it's great that they have the grounding in it, that they can always come back and work when we need them.
And you've got people you just know instinctively, and can you know that they are kind of connected to you more than just like family, but they know the business and they know what they're doing. And that
exactly.
that reassurance is great.
So we're kicking off Christmas tomorrow night. I didn't put anything on any social media last week because I was just trying to find my feet.
This is
so
the great
we have
Niall
music
Lewis
here every Saturday. Tuesday is a mad night, but I know that we have some in for dinner, so we'll just kick it off. It could be a very small night, but it might not be as well.
Well, we'll get the word out, and I know that Niall and Take Two, I mean, the Cubby, they have a great reputation. People travel to see them
in the Horse, and a great combination. Then hopefully over Christmas we'll have days in Leopardstown and bring them. Maybe start breakfast here and back here, or maybe some fun things going on.
Well, we'll let people know, and I wish you the best of luck. I do think that, as I said, it's a natural fit, and I do think, as much as it's going to be hard work, I think it'll be a lot of fun too, which is a crucial part of any job, that you actually enjoy it. And I do think when you've got yourself kind of firmly established here, it'll just be a joy.
Well, Team McNamara are ready and able.